Right, looks like we're live. Welcome to DTR. Back for another week in Division 2. We're in Silverstone and it is raining. Would you be shocked about that? Just waiting to see if one of the drivers updates me on whether the race is going to be wet or not. But while we'll do that, we'll watch Jordan come out in our lap while I sort the menus out. We're on Inters, not a surprise. I'm sure this will be a fun-filled race. Let's hope the rain continues. Right, quite a few people on their outlaps now. Jordan, who at the start of the season you would have said is one of the title contenders, is definitely still in there. But there's quite a few people going for this title. Here he comes now, ready to start his first lap. And the first lap of the session, he's sideways, he's trying to get the throttle down as hard as possible, costing himself time, but we're going to turn one. He's got to watch the cars coming out of the pits. Just got to allow the car to flow through. Be careful with the gearing. You just got to be so patient, wait for the car to rotate before you can get the power down. These cars are hard enough to control as it is, let alone in the rain, so you just have to wait for the car to straighten up and then get on the power, and you can see just normally that would be flat in the dry. Just track is far slippier in the rain. So Jordan puts in a 37.6, Guna's done a 39.3, and Jordan seems to be racing. Assume that person's come out of the pits. Anyway, let's join someone else. What about Mikey then, on his way up to the line? Traction control kicking in there, you can hear the revs just drowning out a little bit. But Brandon goes second for now, Mikey comes over the line. 38.2, enough for third right now. Brandon with a 38.0, so Jordan's time looking pretty good. Wazza on a 38.4, Maradako a 38.5, everyone else in the 39s, Bog in the 40s, and we've got Hayward making his way through sector 2 now. Not sure who the strongest people are in the rain in this division, to be honest. I've seen quite a few of them race in the rain, but just can't quite remember. If there's any football fans out there, Liverpool just got one to look at Sheffield. That was a matter of time. Hayward goes purple in the second sector. Honky now goes on provisional pole with 37.4, so improved even further on Jordan's time. 6/10 away from Brandon, that's a huge gap. Wonder if the track will start to dry up. I mean, the rain only looks like it's getting heavier as Guna puts in a 37.2 now. I think these cars are just going to continue to chuck in laps. Joey goes into P2 with a 37.3, so we are getting a bit quicker as people start to find the grip. Jumps on board with Hackett now. Around the last corner now. 38.6 enough for 10th for now. What about Athanasiou? Athanasiou, why is he in the Alpine? I thought he was an Aston Martin. Must have picked the wrong car. Connor's one of our reserves. Let's have a look at him as he comes around Maggots and Beckett's. He's invalidated, so we're not going to stay on board with him for much longer. Anyone else still going? Haas apparently not improving, but the Rain Man is. He's in the first sector, so I don't know how the game knows that. Yes, it's a really terrible first corner. Making his way down the old pit straight, flicks it into Hamilton Verstappen corner. Next in is the first car into the 36s. This looks pretty clean from the Rayman so far, just misses that curb slightly, but not going to kill him too much. He's about a second up on his time, so that's going to put him at 38 flat. That gets him 8th so far, but has he got more time in sector 3 to find? Generally in these conditions, because you can't use ERS, a lot of the cars can keep going until their fuel runs out, so you see some cars doing 3 or 4 stints at a time. And Boggs improved to 38.7, better time from him. He's good round here in the rain. That's a 37.7, so up to 8th then, where we predicted. Boggs invalidated, so we won't watch him. What about Reliot, my teammate? Did well in last week's race. I think a penalty cost him in the end. Good memory. Coming through Maggots and Beckett's got Williams in front of him. Might give him a bit of a tow. Not sure if that's Wagner or not. Could be Xavi. Not set a lap yet, but he is out on track. Across the line and does improve quite dramatically. Actually goes into second with a 37.2, so the cars are starting to get used to the conditions now, which is just making it a little bit quicker. So I'm confused as to why Athanasiou here is in the Alpine. He's normally in an Aston Martin, I'm sure he is. I'll check it on the standings later, but let's just pick the wrong car. Here comes Athanasiou now around towards the line, looking to improve on his 38, and he will do, and it's a 37.1. That's enough for second. So a good lap in the rain. What about Xavi then, the only person not to set a lap time? No, he's not, is he? I'm lying. Connor and Berserk haven't either. But he is coming around to the line now, but he's actually invalidated. So he'll start a new lap, I assume. So we'll stick on board with him. A little bit slidey there, just trying to get as much speed on the exit as possible, but got to be careful not to overdo it as Connor puts in a 140 now. So Honky now goes provisional pole with a 36.7. So we're starting to see some 36s come through, a bit more heat maybe going into the track on the racing line. And again, Xavi just getting punchy on the throttle. Not done too badly there. He's got purple in the second sector. It's going to be interesting to know what setups people have gone for, because in reality, if it's a dry race, you've got to sort of put up with it in qualifying, because the race is more important. That's where you win the points. Anyway, Xavi has just invalidated. Unlucky for him. What about Nexton then? He looks like he's improving as he comes around the last couple of corners. And if he does improve by 0.3, he's going to go top. And Ferrari have been so strong in qualifying. He does put it on provisional pole, 36.6. What about Wazza? We've not watched him today. He's 0.4 improving. Way down the hanger straight now. Just got to navigate that last sector. These last couple of corners really tricky. The second one, this one, doesn't have the best traction out of it. Wazza navigates it well, and that's enough to move him up to 7th. So we'll have time to go again if he wants to. What about Brandon? Not so much of him, he's 2/10 up, and that'll be enough for around about 4th or 5th, but he might have some time to find in sector 3 yet. So let's just stick on board with him. In fact, I think he's slowed down, so I wonder if he's just waiting for another run. What about some of these guys a bit further back? Xavi's actually gone back in the pits. Be surprised if he didn't try and come back out. Maybe he's just going to chuck a new set of tyres on and give it one last run, but yeah, he's going to want to be a bit further forward than this. Hackett will want to find his way into the top 10. That was nice and smooth. You can hear people just flicking up into a higher gear on corner exit, and that's just to try and stop some of the wheel spin you get if you plant your foot. It's looked pretty smooth from Hackett from what we've seen so far, but hold on a sec, he's up to 42 seconds, so I'm assuming that is not a hot lap, so doesn't really take much pay much attention to that. Mikey's got some improving to do. He's only a 10th up so far. Going to need a lot more than that. Over a second he needs. But again, there could be a little bit in this of people running wet setups when there's going to be a dry race. And that might be why you've got some of your quicker people further down the back of the field. Maridarko normally very, very quick in qualifying. He can only manage 10th so far. Hackett will be disappointed with his position as Xavi is on his way out. Only 1 minute left to go though. Mikey slows the car down into the last couple of corners, and he's got one more lap if he wants it. And he does improve by that 3/10. Not really moved him up very far, so a lot of work for Mikey to do from back there. What about Jordan? He's the one that got the session underway. He's the man we're watching now. And he's a 10th and a half up. Gonna give him a couple of places, but it's not going to be in the 36s. Comes round to the line now, very, very aggressive through there, and he does get into the 36s, found a huge amount of time in sector 3, so 36.7, and that's enough for second. He's got one more lap and he will probably be, oh, there's a flood of cars just getting over the line just in time, look at that. And the Williams did make it. Was it Wazza? It was Wazza, so Wazza's going to be the last car who can cross the line and put a lap in, so we'll watch him and we'll just watch the other cars improve or not improve. So Relliot's finished. He's currently in P2, so he improved a 36.7. And then Bog has also finished with a 37.8. He's down in 14th. And Honky has just blitzed the current pole lap. Is now 36.3, 3/10 up on next, and that is huge. That's a huge difference in quality. What else have we got? We've got a couple of people looking like they're improving. Brandon went up to a 36.999, up into 6th. Maridarko's finished down in 8th on a 37.2. Guna's also finished in 10th after a really strong start. Rayman is also done. Mikey's in the pits. Waz is trying to take a bit of slipstream off that slower car. It's his teammate. Waz now around the last couple of corners. We've got to try and get the momentum around here. There's so much time lost or gained. And here we go. Last corner. Careful on entry, but he doesn't improve. Leaves him 9th, so Honky will take pole. We'll start first on the grid. We'll be interested to see what the weather conditions are like and whether these guys at the front are actually going to suffer because they've increased their wings for the rain. And actually, it's a dry race, so we will find out very, very shortly. We're just going to wait for the cars to make their way back around to the pits. And I'll be able to keep you updated with what's going on. Checking the early football scores. Looks like Man U have got a penalty. Liverpool 1-0 up, courtesy of Van Dijk, which that's just gone to half time. Man City's only just started, that's 0-0. But Villa, most possession and most shots so far. So back to the F1, we've got Honky on pole, 36.3, 3/10 ahead of Athanasiou, who for some reason is in the Alpine tonight. Next in the Ferrari, a 36.6. Then we've got Relliot, Jordan, Hayward, Brandon, all in the 36s. Then we've got Maridarko in 8th with a 37.2. Wazza in 9th. Guna in 10th. And then outside of that, we've got the Rain Man, Mikey, Hackett, Bog, Berserk, Huss, Connor, and then Xavi didn't actually end up setting a time, which is surprising. But he is where he is. And we've got a dry race by the look of it. Wonder if it will change later on, not sure. But just to keep you updated on that Man U score, Fernandez has missed the penalty. Ouch. So the drivers now allowed to tweak their setup slightly. So here they are, setting up for their formation lap. Doesn't look like there's a cloud in sight. Just checking to see whether any of the drivers have given me a weather update, but I can't see one anywhere. So we assume it's going to stay dry. Let's have a quick look at tyre strategies. Whoa, as Honky goes off, but he's going to start on the hards, and we've got some aggressive strategies just behind that in Athanasiou and Nexton on the softs, Reliot on the hards. Then we've got 3 medium runners, and then it's just a bit of a mixed bag, but a lot of the hard runners out the back. But Bog's going for the aggressive strategy. He's on the softs. We'll see how quickly he can make his way up the pack. Mikey deciding to do the opposite and try and go long, along with Gunnar, Hackett, Berserk and Connor. From memory, around Silverstone, the softs last 4 or 5 laps. Once those 4 or 5 laps are gone, so is any of the good lap time you can get out of them. Also depends very much on how you look after them. So they're going to come and line up on the grid now. We've got to try and keep it within those white markers. If they don't, it resets them a little bit further back, so a little bit of a disadvantage. It doesn't actually disqualify them from the race. Let's get rid of... let's get rid of the tyre choices. Get rid of some of the menus for now, as we're zoomed in on Honky, but we're going to get a nice start. We've got 5 lights on, and away we go. Honky looks like he's got away okay. The Alpine of Athanasiou is going to cover him off, and I think he's going to beat him into turn 1 here. So he's going to lose the lead. We're 3 wide. Just behind that, the Ferrari of Nexton just about staying in 3rd place, and it looks like everyone's got through reasonably cleanly there. We're just looking back from Nexton's car. Yeah, everyone looks like they're okay. Let's get the menus back on. Here we go then. So Athanasu takes over the lead of the race in the Alpine. We've got Nexton having a look down the inside of Honky. That's a lovely move and a great start. Honky moving backwards on those hard tyres. So the aggressive strategy of the softs really working out well for those two. Up into first and second. We've got Reliant piling the pressure on Honky. Honky's had a really tough start on these hard tyres. It's Jordan he's fighting with, not Honky. Honky is now within reach, and Jordan and Reliant decide not to play Hamilton and Verstappen there. Just look at the entry speed from Reliant there in comparison to Honky on those hards. He's just got so much more grip. Jordan is putting pressure all over Reliant now, and actually Reliant is on the hards as well. So just a bit neater from Reliant then, but Jordan with the grip advantage makes his way through, and he'll be after Honky now. And we will stay on board with this battle, as he just looks like he overshoots a little bit there, but doesn't make contact with Honky. That's the main thing. Athanasu, of course, being the first to go over the line, will take the fastest lap for now, but that will get beaten. And again, these two are exchanging neatness through corners. Hayward in the background waiting. Maradako looks like he's trying to make his way forward. And I wonder if Honky maybe used a wet setup. That could be the other reason. But look at look at Maradako, sorry, all over the back of Hayward, and he's going to get the inside line. Joe keeps his nose in there and looks to try and cover him off on the inside. Maradako on the soft tyre, so needs to get past as quickly as possible. Oh, and here we go. Hamilton, Verstappen, but no, Maradako pulls out of that. I think a lot of F1 fans have learnt from that incident, as we can see that Wazza in the background runs wide, probably gets a warning for that. So penalties could come into play later on in the day, but everyone behaving themselves so far. Quite a tidy race, but Maradako coming back, more pressure. And I think Joe's just got that little bit more straight line speed. Maybe he's using a bit of ERS there just to try and defend that position. But Maradako cuts that corner lovely, and he's side by side into these last couple of corners. He's going to switch it into the inside line. That's a great move. And Joe wisely pulls out, doesn't want to cause too many problems and leave himself vulnerable to Wazza. So yeah, he concedes the place, but not too much time. Wazza is now going to put some pressure on Joe. Joe on the yellow striped tyre, the mediums. Athanasiu's managed to pull out over a second. So Nexton is the lead car. It's going to tow people down these straights with the DRS zones. We've got two DRS zones, one that Waz has just gone through, and then the hangar straight, which is just after Maggots and Beckett's. Waz are running a little wide there, but we'll get a good exit. So some gaps forming quite early on, and generally this track does often become a bit of a DRS train. There are some really good places to overtake, but generally you just get pulled along by the car in front, and Reddit's got to be careful not to run out of DRS range of Jordan. It's going to leave him vulnerable. He is out of DRS, and therefore Maradako comes flying through, and Maradako now needs to make sure that he's not within a second. That's Gunnar and Brandon fight at the end of the hangar straight. Gunnar looks like he's through, and he's on the hard tyre. Brandon on the mediums. That's interesting. But Gunnar's managed to pick up that place. There's a second gap between all of the top three now, and Maradako, as we saw, just got the overtake done on Relia. He's got to try and cover that gap from Jordan, who will be getting towed by Honky. Soft tyres will go off in the next few laps, so we've just got to keep an eye on that. And where's the next gap? Wazza putting some pressure on Joe. They're side by side, and it looks like Wazza's going to get the inside line, but guess what? It comes back to Joe. He's defended there once already today and looks pretty solid through there. Knows where to position his car. And Wazza behaving himself so far. after a very good race last week actually. Weiser does have his moments. Won a race or two last year from memory. Might have been Singapore actually. But anyway, the gap looks like Honky has actually found Nexton, who has burnt all of his ERS out. Maybe he's done that trying to catch the back of Athanasu, and that's not worked out, and it's brought Honky back into it. However, it might not be the end of the world, because he might be able to use him to recharge some of it if he lets him through. Maradako seems to be losing time now to Jordan. Reliant keeping tabs with him. Looks like Man U have managed to find the lead now. Honky making a move in the first DRS straight, and that move gets done quite easily. I wonder if those soft tyres are dying off. Look, Jordan's now here and on the back of him. Tomine, the goal scorer. So yeah, Jordan now catching the back of Nexton, and Athanasu being caught by Honky. So the soft's looking like not the best tyre, maybe. Certainly looked strong in the first couple of laps, but as I said at the start, 4 or 5 laps, and you bet the best life of those soft tyres have gone. So it's just bunched up the field again, but Maradako is the first car that needs a little bit of support, but he's actually just been overtaken by Reliant down the hanger straight. He's under pressure from Joe now, and Maradako straight into the pit. So decides he's had enough of those soft tyres. Will pit early. I wonder if he'll go hards now and try and go long. The softs are not looking like the option. And this is good knowledge for me when I race tomorrow. Boggs managed to gain a couple of places. I think he was on softs as well, from memory. Wazza hanging around with Joe, who we're on board with. And Reliant's got 2.5 seconds to try and catch Jordan in front, but these top 3, 4 now are all pretty close. We'll watch it on board from Jordan, because we can see all 4 of them. Easiest for us to see what goes on along the road, but Javi's making his way towards the points. He's just overtaken Bog. And Mikey, probably the closest car on track to making an overtake. Keep an eye on that gap. Yeah, he's getting closer. Let's join him, see if he can do anything about it. It looks like he's been dragged down the hanger straight, and these cars are all pretty close. Do my best to catch as much of the action as possible. Which, bear with me, there might be some times where I miss some overtakes. There's Honky actually very, very close to taking the lead of the race here, and might want to join him, because he's going to get some DRS, and then we'll try and jump back to Mikey. So Honky then for the lead of the race. Decides not to slipstream, and it actually decides to pull out of that one. So I wonder if he's just using it to charge a bit of ERS. That is probably the play. Mikey, I think, has he been overtaken? I can't remember him being 10th, but I could be wrong. And now he's going to try and switch back. Oh, and there's a car on his inside. Oh, and I don't think he knew the Rain Man was there, but he's knocked him off the track. Yeah, I don't think that was intentional. I think he was just trying a bit of a switchback, and the Rain Man saw a gap opening, and he tried to take it. Zerk picks up a 3-second time penalty, the second of the day. Honky now getting very, very close, but again, I think he's just managing this gap, and it's probably helping Nexton stay in touch whilst being on those soft tyres. So this is only helping Nexton really. But Honky's got his own race to be thinking about here and doesn't want to burn all of his ERS out. Let's go back to watching it from Jordan's angle. Dark puts in the 29-1 on soft, so he's gone soft. That's interesting. Well, I wonder why he's done that. That's maybe he had wing damage. But the Rain Man is back up on Hasurk after the incident with Mikey. Again, Honky so close to the back of Athanasu, but it's just not wanting to make the move there really. Jump on with Athanasu because we get a better camera angle of the cars behind him. And here we go, DRSs are open for all of these cars. And Honky again pulling out the slipstream. Doesn't want to overtake him at this moment. Wazza and Reliot look like they're fighting into the final corner. Wazza currently retaining 5th place, but he's got 2 cars behind him, Reliot and Hayward, who are looking to try and make a move. Hayward trying to put the pressure on Reliot. Just tries to fake him into saying he's going in the inside line. Reliot wasn't buying it. Jordan runs a bit wide, maybe to try and be defensive, but that's going to open the door for Reliot here. He's going to try and do the switchback, but he's just not got the traction there to make it happen. Got to be so careful there. You can see Joe just trying to get to the right hand side there so he didn't invalidate, well, call it invalidating quality, but exceed track limits in the race. But that's a great exit from Joe now, and he's going to get a great slingshot on Reliot, and he flicks to the left. He should get this done pretty easily. They're still side by side. I don't think he's going to be able to turn all the way in, and they will remain side by side coming down towards this final corner. So Joe's going to get the inside line for the first corner. It's then going to be Reliot's inside line, and Reliot's done a great job of defending there, but it's actually still going to lose the place. And that's a great move from Joe. It took him 4 corners, but he got the job done. And Wazza has been able to just find a bit of breathing room whilst they were fighting. And Nexton's hanging in there on those soft tyres. So this will help him from a strategy point of view. Nexton is now dropping off the back. I mean, to get these tyres 10 laps, he's done a very, very good job, but Jordan is ready to get past him now, I think. He doesn't want to be losing time to those 2 in front. And he's been flashing for nearly the whole race, Nexton. Here comes Jordan, enough's enough. Through he goes. Let's have a quick check-in on Guna. He's trying to put some pressure on Brandon again. Other than the 4.5 second gap there from Wazza to Nexton, not a lot in it really in the top 10. You can watch the whole train from back here. really too much pressure from many people in the pack so far, and it's just a tactical battle. Get your tyres as far as possible, which will allow you to go on a quicker tyre later on. Ready on the hard tyres, and remember you have to run one of each compound. So next one will be trying to go soft hard, but I assume soft medium. So he could come in any time soon really, but we'll not want a safety car if he does decide to come in. But he's dropped off the back of Jordan now, it's not a surprise. Those tyres must really be suffering. The Rayman and Connor both pick up a penalty, when Jordan actually has got past Athanasiou, and that's because he's pitting. So we've got the two soft runners both coming in, lap 11. And my guess will be that they go on to the medium, and they'll run that to the end. So they didn't have to go anywhere near the hard tyre. And it is the mediums for Nexton, Athanasiou 2. No changes of position there. So Honky takes over the lead of the race, Jordan following him. Honky on the hards, Jordan on the mediums, Wazza then 5.5 seconds back, losing quite a lot of time. Currently in third, but again remember, two at the back have pitted, and that's how close this grid is. The fact that the two that have pitted have actually come out at the back of the field, but the undercut is probably going to be quite strong here. See how much those soft tyres are going off. So you imagine as Brandon and Mikey having a bit of a scrap. I think Mikey actually gets through on Brandon. They're about to line up for the hanger straight. Mikey's managed to pull out a bit of a gap, but Brandon is going to get DRS and he's going to get a chance to come back at him. But Haywood, you can see him just in the distance there, was overtaking Wazza. So Wazza is coming in the pits actually. Reliot then goes through. So is Guna coming in? No, he's not. He's going to carry on. He's on the hard tyre. And I assume that the hard tyres have got options here. They can either keep going and go to softs, or they can come in very, very soon and go to mediums. But we're at half race distance now. And Nexton got past Athanasiou. What happened there? Didn't see that, but Nexton is through. Both on the same tyre, so some work to do. Xabi's come into the pits. Brandon's in. Wazza's in. So Nexton and Athanasiou are through, as expected. Bog up into the points, and he's still running on those soft tyres. He's not done 13 laps on them, has he? Yeah, he has. Interesting. I think he needs to be coming in. I assume he comes in this lap. He's going to have his teammate not too far down the road coming in, but I think there's enough to double stack as long as Guna doesn't have any wing damage. Reliot's probably the closest battle on track with Joe at the moment. They're going to come in. Joe is going to come in. Reliot's going to carry on. So the guys on the hard tyres are probably going to just eke this out for a bit longer and hope for a safety car at some point. Problem is the grid is really spread out. We've got quite a few in the pits. Jordan, Honky was on the hards. He's come in. Bog picks up a 5-second speeding penalty in the pits. Guna's in, Haywood's in, Berserk in. So everyone coming in. No safety car so far. But Reliot now has rolled the dice along with Mikey, and they're going to hope for a safety car. And if they get one, well, let's just say it'll be perfect, because this pit lane is huge. It takes so long. I think Xavi might make his way up into the points here now after overtaking a couple of these cars through the undercut. obviously, by the end of the race. But look at Nexton and Athanasiou now. Catching Maridako, who has pitted once, but has gone soft so far, strangely. Athanasiou starting to catch him. And if I was a betting man, Nexton doesn't have an ERS. And I would have won that bet. He is flashing. So Athanasiou surely will be patient, and you can see he's not using his ERS here, he's just going to keep charging it up. Mikey gets through on Reliot because Reliot has come into the pits. Mikey playing a bit of a longer game. And this is where the safety car would be perfect for Mikey now. Huss also, he carries on. The Rayman looks like he has lost out quite dramatically. He's down in 15th, he's got penalties. But the gap's starting to fan out a little bit. But Jordan and Honky still on the back of this pair, so the undercut wasn't silly strong anyway, as Honky and Jordan are actually having a fight. As Honky has made a couple of those moves, or has had a couple of those moves done on him today, so he's able to do it back. And Jordan actually, interestingly, on the hard tyres, so what's everyone gone for? Yeah, this is where the guy is now towards the front, so Maridako on the soft, but then you've got Nexton and Athanasiou going to have the advantage on a quicker tyre, same with Honky. Jordan, Wazza and Joe all had to go on the hards then to finish the race, so not the most ideal, but anyway, are we going to see Mikey pit? Nexton's got past his teammate. I don't think Maridako has made that too hard for him. And now he needs Maridako to do him a bit of a favour. Mikey's going to carry on. I think that's sensible. Let's see if he can get a safety car. And if he does, he'll be in a great position. But these guys will be trying to hunt him down whilst he waits. Reddit comes out in 12th place. Huss in the pits now as well. And if I was Mikey here, I would just try and hang this out and hope for a safety car, and if it comes, it will help him jump so many places. If it doesn't come, well, he's just not going to be in the points, but his only real chance of getting anything big done. Maridako dropping places now. Those soft tyres will be struggling, but Nexton is having a move on the Hackett. He's going to go around the outside. Are they going to stay side by side here? I think they should, and I think the Red Bull has gone. He has, and is this the safety car? Is this the safety car that Mikey needs? It is the safety car that Mikey needs. And it is Hackett that's out, and that's because they went side by side. Didn't see what happened on exit. I wasn't on the right camera view, but what's Mikey going to do here? Surely he's coming in. He's flooring it up into the pit box, and if he can get back out, he's going to be right at the front of this pack. They've got to stick to the delta here. I don't think he's going to come out in first, but he's going to be right up there. What's he going for? Softs, or is he going to go mediums? I think you stick to the mediums personally. He does. We've actually got a Ferrari. We actually got the front four coming in, so I think he's going to take the lead of the race. Absolute master stroke from Mikey, and it was a great gamble. Who's the car? It's Guna that's coming down the straight, and I think he's just about going to get Mikey, so he's not going to take the lead. But I tell you what, he's currently on the podium with his teammate who only pitted last lap. Look, everyone's come into the pits. What are they coming in? What are they coming in for? A couple of them on softs. So we'll have to attack early, but we saw it in the first stint. They drop off so quickly. So I think we're going to have like a 6-lap sprint to the end. And Mikey in a brilliant position here. Athanasiou's missed out to Maridako somehow. So that safety car has certainly spiced up the race. It was getting a bit strung out, really. Having at least another lap, but the cars are pretty much caught up. Before the safety car incident, there wasn't a lot going on really. Like the pack was actually pretty tight. It was a very close race, although not too much to report on because the field at the same time was a bit spread out. But as I was saying just before, Mikey in a great position here on these medium tyres. It's going to be a 6 or 7 lap shootout, probably just a bit long for the softs. I think the softs will start to drop off at the end, but as long as Mikey doesn't get caught out by the 2 quicker cars behind him. Athanasiou actually decided to come back out on a fresh set of mediums. Gunnar is the one in the lead of the race, and pretty fresh tyres himself really. So by no means is this a given for Mikey. And in fact I think the race is set up brilliant. We've got a couple of quicker guys on soft tyres. But those tyres will drop off before the end of the race and bring these guys back into it. So I think the reality is, how long can these medium runners keep the softs behind them? And the longer they do that, the more chance they've got of maintaining their podiums and potentially winning. Gunnar takes over the pace of the pack. And he's trying to warm his tyres up just that little bit. And away he goes, and it's his brother behind him trying to stay on track, and actually Mikey's created a little gap for his teammate, so now he's got to fight off Nexton, who has got all the grip in the world on those soft tyres, and Honky behind him. So now the Mercs need to work together. They won't have DRS for a couple of laps. Nexton is already piling the pressure on. But like I said, the longer they can keep those soft runners behind them, the harder it's going to get for them. Honky might help them if he fights Nexton. He's looking down the inside there. Nexton just leaves a bit of room, thinking he was going for it. Mikey looking down the inside of his teammate. They've got to be careful. Don't bring these two back into it. Mikey does get through, and he's up into second. Nexton all over the back of Elliott now, and this is where we saw the crash for the safety car, and Nexton pulls out. Honky on the outside. Just got to be so careful, but they did well there. They all managed that gap nicely. Maridarko has lost quite a bit of time to this group. Here we go then. This is what we've been waiting for. And what an exit from Honky. All over the back of Nexton. Nexton can't go left. Rayleigh's going to be in a sandwich here. A soft sandwich. And Honky is the one that loses out. Nexton will get through on the inside. Oh, but look at the overspeed there. And he's going to come down the inside for Nexton. Good move from Honky. It looked like it was gone. But he takes everyone by surprise by getting a great exit. And now he's all over the back of Nexton. And what a drive out of that last corner. That's brave. This is great racing to watch. Look at them side by side into turn one. He has to cut it, and he's taken Nexton with him. And Nexton comes back on, and I think he deserves to keep that place, to be honest. But it's not my decision to make. I think Honky should be given that place back. He's not going to, though. He's going to stick it out and hope the stewards don't penalise him for it. I think he'll be lucky to get away with that. Rayleigh now has got damage limitation to do. But that has helped Gunnar and Mikey. And Mikey's actually taken the lead of the race. Really sorry I didn't completely miss that in the carnage that was going on behind. Gunnar is putting some pressure on Mikey, but there's nearly a second gap. These two need to work together and break Honky's toe behind, because Nexton's about to come in and start fighting him again now. But no, they've already closed the gap. Just the grip difference currently out there is unbelievable. But anyway, Mikey leading the race. Long way to go yet. Long way to go yet. Two soft runners waiting in the wings, but he's got a rear gunner in Gunnar to try and help him. And Maradaka's actually made his way up. Rayleigh's actually lost a couple of places there. Gunnar might have just got a bit of a nudge from Honky there. But he's fending them off. And now Mikey desperately needs that second gap out in front just to get out of the DRS zone and make it that little bit more difficult. Honky here on the attack. And Nexton not too far behind him. And here they are, side by side already. But Gunnar with the great straight line speed. He actually gets DRS off Mikey, doesn't he? So that's really helped him. Honky and Nexton runs wide, look at that, just behind, but he slingshots himself nicely. And Honky's trying to go around the outside here. Gunnar's had to leave space and he's off. But look, Honky, flashing red light, that will be good news for Mikey. So Mikey needs a real clean Maggots and Beckett's here. Because again, the longer it takes Honky to catch him, the more he's going to wear his tyres out. But Honky does look quick right now. Nexton's next to put pressure on Gunnar, but Gunnar's straight line speed is something else. He must have really low winds. Mikey just a bit stronger in this sector, and he's over a second clear now. So if he can keep that up, Honky's tyres will start to fade at some point. But for now, we're on board with Nexton. He's got his teammate company right behind. So a good day for Ferrari if they can keep this up and maybe push forward just a little bit further. The Rain Man is through on Berserk further down the field. Nexton now really is starting to put some pressure in. Mikey's starting to build a gap. I think Honky's tyres have started to fade. And without DRS, it's going to be a difficult man to catch. Here comes Nexton flying down the straight, and look, his teammate, can he follow him through? No, Gunnar is able to close the door. Let's watch Maradako. Gunnar wanted that place back, but it wasn't close enough. Maradako got to be sensible here and just be patient. 3 more laps to go then. Sorry, 4 more laps to go. Mikey's still just hanging on to that second gap. Needs to keep it there again for as long as possible. Those tyres from Honky are going to start going off. And here comes Maridarco, and his teammate is flashing in front of him. So I wonder if that will give him an edge on his teammate. He doesn't look like he's flashing. He's not. Athanasiu now going to want to join the party. Wazza gets through on Reliot. Reliot decides not to continue to fight that. Doing a bad job of just trying to stick to the back of Maridarco here. I think you can just see that Mikey now is getting the better corner exits. Just carrying a little bit too much speed. Just needs to brake a tad earlier. Athanasiu now coming to join the party. Wants Sinaguna's points. Mikey just about keeping Honky at arm's length, but that second gap has been broken. So Honky's just gone hard at it there and hasn't got the wing, so wasn't within a second at the detection zone. I wonder if Mikey's made a mistake there, and Mikey has run out of battery as well. So nervy times for Mikey now, really hanging on. But you'd think that Honky's tyres surely are struggling. We saw 4 or 5 laps earlier was enough to send them off a cliff. Pushing ever so hard. He's using every single ounce of the track, and he is closing in on Mikey, who is flashing. He's going to be defenceless here, and Honky might just wait a lap here. We saw him playing the tactical game earlier. No, he's going to go for it, but this is going to give Mikey a chance just to recharge the batteries. If you can stay close enough here. So, we've got a thrilling end to this race. Mikey is within a second. We'll get the help of DRS. The cat's pulling out, so Honky has clearly got a very, very good exit. So he fancies himself to pull off a bit of a gap here, and Mikey is just going to try and drive that a little bit harder. And really, he's got to get as close as he can right now to give himself any sort of chance on the final lap. And that was a bit scruffy. Nexton's actually catching him, so these soft tyres are holding up. I wonder if it was the reduced fuel weight actually that's giving him advantage, but Mikey's just a little bit scrappy there. Let's hope it doesn't leave him vulnerable to Maridarco as well, but here we go. Nexton is going around the outside. Hayward's out. Lost it through Magnus and Beckett's. That will not be a safety car. We've only got 2 laps left. But Mikey vulnerable here. He's got 1 lap left to hold on to this podium, and he'll be hoping that the 2 in front of him can pick up a penalty. He might even be able to get Nexton back if he can stay close enough. We'll have one more attack at Nexton down the hanger straight. Looks like for now Honky's in pole position to win this. With a second gap back to Nexton. And this corner Mikey struggled with. He needs to get the car out a bit wider. Throw all the pace through there, drops it down a gear. That wasn't the worst. So now he's got to absolutely nail this to have a pop at Nexton. Nexton desperate to get that DRS, and that was a better corner from Mikey. Can he now pull Nexton in, who is flashing? I think he's going to be too far back. He might be able to have a go at it into the last couple of corners, but I think Nexton's done enough here. Athanasiou is having a fight with Gunnar and Maridaka. Maridaka looks like he's lost out on 2 places there, and has he got a puncture? Something's happened. He's letting everyone through here, and this could be utter carnage. But Honky is going to go over the line and win the race. Nexton second, Mikey third. Can we catch the action up to the line? Oh, as we had Xavi, Jordan and Relia all in a scrap there. I don't know what happened to Maridaka. It looked like he might have had a puncture, but we'll have to wait for him to tell us that. But Honky wins on those soft tyres. It looked like they were dropping off, but maybe just recharging his battery, and got back to the front, and Nexton followed him. Again, he looked a little bit like he was struggling, but found his way back to second, and Mikey clings on for a podium, so well done to him. And that was down to his strategy, really brought him back into play there, so that's a quality race from him too. So just to go through that order again, Honky wins the race. Good race from him. Started on the hard tyres, got the strategy right, came in for the softs at the end. Nexton will be disappointed not to have won the race, but I think struggled early on those soft tyres, but made it work, comes back for second. Mikey with a great strategy call, looked like he could have won it 3 laps from home, but just couldn't keep those 2 in front of him behind. Athanasiou fights his way back to 4th, Gunnar in 5th. Xavi fights up to 6th after not setting a time in quali, so a good race for him. Jordan in 7th, Relia 8th, Wazza in 9th, and the Rayman picks up the final point. Bog finds his way up to 11th. Maridako with a puncture, I think, finishes 12th. Then we've got Huss, Berserk, Connor, Brandon, and then Joe, who I don't think finished the race. So not a great day for the Red Bulls. Hackett also did not finish. But another eventful race here in Division 2. So thank you, drivers, for putting on a show. And the safety car there really made it at the end. But for now, we're finished. But we will be back here next week. And I believe it's Hungary next week to see who's going to go for the win and start to stretch that lead out in the championship. But for now, thank you guys. And we'll see you next week.